Welcome to You're Not the Only One. This is a podcast or videocast, what you want to call it, for product-based businesses who are building their business, building their brand, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. They're probably winging it quite a bit in their marketing and probably Googling how not to lose your mind. So, I'm Gill from Cherry Aid Marketing, and each episode I want to cover a topic or get honest stories from product business owners, whether it's founders, creatives, people who can help you in your business, and just get that behind the scenes look and feel to what you're doing, and just to help you see that you're not the only one with all these challenges. It's going to be proper chit chat, real talk, some tips, some helpful guidance, and today's topic I've gone with you're not the only one who has spent absolute hours putting their website together, but it's not converting, because it's not just pretty pictures that sell, it's words too. So we'll be talking about how you can use your website to sell your products and services. Also look at what that customer journey is like as well. So my guest today is Zoe Bartlett from Zoe Connected. She's an ace copywriter who I have worked with a number of times over the years, and she just gets like what I'm trying to say. So yes, I can write copy, but Zoe puts it in the way that I know my readers will want to read, and I know that she's getting the message across, because when you're in your business, it's really, really hard to not just say things the way you would normally say them. So it's great to have that outside perspective. So Zoe, over to you. Do you want to give yourself a little intro?
Yes, thank you very much, Jill. And thank you for having me on the podcast today, or videocast.
Whatever we're calling
Whatever
it.
we're calling it. So yeah, as you very well said, my name is Zoe and I am from Zoe Connected, and I am a website copywriter and a website strategist. Now, the word strategy and strategist gets bandied around, as you very well know, all the time. So I like to just kind of explain what I mean by that. Yes, I'm a copywriter. Yes, I write copy for websites. That's what you'd say in a nutshell. But it's not just about the words. I mean, nothing is just about anything in your marketing. It's nothing ever works in isolation. So the words that I create for people are underpinned by your actual website strategy. And by that, we mean, how are people finding you? SEO. How are you actually keeping people on your website? What are you saying to them? Are you saying the right thing? Is your messaging aligned? Is your brand voice on point? How do you keep them looking around your website? How do you get that one person that has visited your website 27 times to actually reach out and contact you, or actually buy the product? So that is, in a nutshell, what I do. Yes, I write the words. Yes, I write the copy, but it is looking at your website as a whole to see how that copy is actually going to function on your website. So we don't just do pretty words.
Pretty pictures and pretty words. So when I'm doing a strategy for a client, I will look at the website, I will look at what sort of visitors they're getting through their analytics, and I will look at what sort of journey, where are people clicking, are their images telling the story that you want them to tell, because a lot of it, product business, is all in the pictures now, not necessarily in the description underneath, although that is needed for SEO, but also those words that you put on the images are really, really important. And then what are they doing to get people to convert? And that's where, working with someone like yourself, I can then go, right, these are the things you need to be doing. Zoe's going to help you further with that. So yeah, it's not just about plonking products on websites and hoping for the best.
Definitely. And I think, any business owner, whether you've literally started last month or you have been doing this for 10 years, can appreciate that the very best results do genuinely come from partnerships, like skill partnerships. So I think, as a copywriter, whenever I work with someone who's working overall and looking at the overall marketing strategy, it's then understanding where I can come in with the website copy and make sure that that marries up with the bigger picture. Yeah, it's for me, it kind of comes down to not just looking at everything as a single entity in your marketing, kind of understanding how it all works holistically.
altogether.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, for example, like what I try and get across is you're making a big investment in your website just by having one designed. So, it's really important to invest in the copy, but also invest in how you're going to use that going forwards to convert people into customers. It's not just about having a presence. It's really important that people use their websites as, they're spending a lot of money. So it needs to work and it needs to bring those people in ultimately, but also get them to click.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. You've been in business a similar amount of time to me. So I started, I went freelance first in 2018. Yes. And I've seen so many, like so much change in across many industries. And the one thing that I take away from these past years is that people have become a lot more discerning. So buyers have become a lot more discerning. So it's actually no longer enough to have a nice looking website. It's not enough to, go to a designer and invest. You can literally invest anything from 500 quid up to 10,000 more. You know what I mean? I've worked in before. I worked for myself. I worked for a company that spent £34,000 on their website because I remember the invoice exactly. So it's such a huge thing, and I think it's never been more crucial to make sure that your words, your functionality of the website and the words marry up with what you're actually putting into the design, because pretty just isn't enough.
No. And in terms of, we hear so much about SEO or search engine optimization, and now is it GEO that's coming in? GEO, have I got that right?
I don't know. Is this AI SEO?
AI, yeah.
I've literally
So
been calling it AI SEO, and I was thinking, gosh, that's a
AI
bit of
SEO,
a
right.
mouthful.
We hear so much about it, but I think in terms of the work you do,
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the, your high level, we talk about a website strategy straight away before we even write your hero section on your homepage. Before we even do like one word, we need to understand, as you well know, what is your focus keyword for every single page. There's a lot of chat at the moment, and it's driving me a little bit mad about how keywords are dead, SEO is dead because of AI. But at the end of the day, if you are a business and you have a traditional website where you have a homepage, about page, a services page, these are what I would call your money pages. So this is where they're like your core pages where people actually make a buying decision. And at the end of the day, if you've got people, whether they're using ChatGPT, using Google, and Gemini's coming up at the top, if they're asking very specific questions, like they want to buy a, a certain specific brand of coat, or they're looking for in the service industry, I work a lot with service-based businesses, so they're looking for a wedding photographer in Manchester or something like that. Whether it's AI or traditional search, it's still going to need to understand what are those money pages, what are those specific service and product pages. So I think that is one thing that I would always say is still focus on those very specific what you do keywords on those pages. Yes, have blogs, yes, have case studies, have your product pages all optimized. But if you can get those specific keywords right on those pages, then that is one of the things that I see get the best results with my clients' websites.
okay. Interesting. And I've seen recently as well that businesses are starting to see in their analytics that traffic is coming to their website from places like ChatGPT, which still says that SEO is so important on your website because it's still that is now finding you. So yeah, it's not just about serving Google anymore.
Yeah, and I think so. I've just written a blog post about this because I had my own experience. So I have a shop, but it's a template shop. So it's not a physical product, it's a digital download product to help people write their copywriting, do their copy on their website. And I launched this about a month ago, and that page is performing really well. from a search perspective. And I've started to get traffic from, lo and behold, ChatGPT and Gemini. So that is coming up in the AI overviews on Google, and it's coming up with people using ChatGPT instead of using Google. And I'm getting traffic to that page. And that page has only been live for a month, but these search results started coming in about 3 weeks ago. So I did a bit of digging and very interestingly listened to a few podcasts around this. And the big message that's coming through is that AI seems to be, no one's got the definitive answer yet, but seems to be crawling websites quicker than Google did traditionally. So it's actually finding this information quicker. So again, there's an opportunity there. Did I do anything differently? No, I just wrote with SEO best practice in mind. Follow the best practice. Keywords are optimized, but still make it really good for humans. And that is essentially what it boils down to.
Yeah. And it is really, really quick at crawling websites. I know when I've been looking for some research on something and I've asked it to find stuff, it finds it so quickly and it's relevant and it gives me like where I can find the source and all of that. So yeah. I think the information you put on your website is still definitely key. Okay, so for people watching or listening to this, I want to give them some kind of real life examples or tips on things that we've gone through or that you might have had clients gone through. So the first question I have is, what's the challenge that you or a client has had to work through recently?
So one of my most recent challenges with a client is they came to me back in February, March time, and they'd had a beautifully designed website. So like we were talking about before, but very pretty, beautiful branding, lovely imagery, but absolute zero. Well, no, there was copy on there. There was kind of like you copy that you just quickly chuck up there, or maybe you've got some from your old website. They'd put like placeholder copy, but the whole website had just been put in place with, not placeholder copy literally, but copy that is just there for the sake of it. Didn't really say anything, didn't really do anything. And there's a big feeling that if you've done that, then the design comes after the copy and there's nothing that can be done, or it's limited. That was a big challenge for them because they were worried that they'd invested, X amount in this beautiful website and now it was almost worthless. And how we overcome it is go, right, look at your website, look what it's got designed into it already. So in websites, you obviously have like sections, like some people call them canvases, sections, and look at what you've got now and let's design copy, map out copy that's actually going to work within your existing design that either you or your website designer can do without costs escalating like crazy. So that is a big challenge, and that's come to me a few times because simply, it's nothing, there's no shade. People go, I think I need a website. Where do you go? You go to a website designer. You don't really think. And my kind of big, if I could get a message out to the world, is tell website designers to advise their clients that they need to think about their copy. Yeah. Because then it wouldn't turn into this bigger challenge because they would do it the right way around. So yeah, that is something that's come to me quite a few times, is I suppose the wrong way round.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times as well with clients who've come for a strategy, but they've already had the website designed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if you'd just come that bit before that, I could have advised you on so much more of this. And so then I will suggest things that they can do to their website to bring it up to a certain level. But yeah, they've already made that investment and you think, this is
bad, don't you? Like you're giving them bad news.
Yeah. Or you have to be careful how you say it because obviously they've spent a lot of money on that and then they realise it's not working and they're like, why is it not working? So it's just figuring it all out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But we've all done
Is there anything? Oh, go on.
We've all done it. We've all invested in things the wrong way round.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, if you think when you and I met, so I got in touch with you, I'd found you followed you on Instagram, and I'd got my own online shop at the time, and I'd invested in my website and invested in pictures and stuff for it. But again, like you say, the stuff you knew in 2018 to what you know now is vastly different. But I didn't get that. I needed blogs on there, and I didn't get that. Well, I needed social media help at the time, and you were offering that and things like that. So it's just massive, isn't it? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's something that you wish you'd known earlier?
Oh my gosh, where do I start? Many, many things. And I think even knowing that that's okay is one thing in itself. Because
Yeah,
you can think anybody, whatever business you're in, whatever industry you're in, there's kind of a feeling that you have to get everything right, but actually just taking action. So even, let's take it right granular down to your website copy. I'm not going to stay here and say, if you can't get amazing website copy, if you can't invest in a website copy, don't put any copy on your website. Put something on there. Give it a go.
word.
So yeah, have a go. Pop some words on there. And, even, we've got tools like AI, not keep bringing it back to AI, but, anybody can go out there and give it a go. But I suppose specifically to me, and I did think about this because you did mention this question before we jumped on here today, and one thing that keeps coming to mind is that more doesn't necessarily mean better. And I think, again, you could put this across many areas of business, but when it comes to your website, sometimes there is a pressure, especially when it comes to SEO, is to have this section and have this section and make sure you include this. And it can actually feel really overwhelming. So from 2 points of view, let's look at the actual people, your potential customers, your potential clients. More doesn't necessarily mean better. We live extremely busy lives now. Any one person could have 34 tabs open on their computer, on their phone, and 34 tabs open in their head. So if not more, well, gosh, I don't even want to say how many are on my phone. I think I've reached the max of like 500, which says a lot, doesn't it? And what we want to do with your copy is actually distill it, keep it clear, keep it concise. Don't think, I've got to put this in, I've got to put that in. And writing copy strategically means putting the right thing in the right place. So more doesn't necessarily mean better. There are places where you can expand, like FAQs for products, as you know, is like really, really important. But again, it's not about, saying everything under the sun that is possibly needed to be said across the whole website. There's a time and a place for it. So yeah, that's one thing. And I personally, I've learned that because, when you start off and you're writing copy for people and, people are coming to me and saying, I want this and this, there was almost an expectation of it's got to be 500 words and actually that was limiting the results that I could get for clients because I felt like I'd had to give them a lot of words, but it's not about more words. It's about better, more concise, compelling copy.
Definitely. Just thinking back to what you said then about people who don't have budget to work with an ex copywriter like yourself. Are there any tools that you would suggest they look at, or apart from AI, obviously, are there any little hints you could give them that would help?
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to use AI, just to say, because I do know a lot of people will be running to that, it's just to make sure that you're actually setting yourself up for success in AI. I mean, as I'm always going to be like, I'm always going to absolutely say that the best thing is to write it yourself naturally, and then use AI as a tool. That's kind of like my line on AI. So use it to help you edit or change certain words, but if you set it up from the start, so tell AI what it needs to know. So that's by going through certain exercises with it, such as understanding your target audience, your messaging, your website goals, all that kind of thing. That will actually help the AI generate better copy. So with that in mind, how do you get better at, that's like a prompt engineering. So prompt engineering for website copy. There are lots of things, you do a quick Google search, there'll be lots of things out there that'll tell you how to write better prompts. This is where it's like plug alert, but I offer a range of copywriting templates that include AI prompts. And the reason I include AI prompts in the template is because I know that business owners are not with AI sat next to them. Why would they ignore it? So it is kind of thing that I know it's there and it's there, but you've got to use the tool well. And if you've got prompts that literally take, so the templates include prompts for each part to say, write this section here, do this here, and tell your AI, your ChatGPT, what to do. If you are more traditional and you don't want to use AI, my biggest tip would be to get started is to literally grab yourself a big piece of paper and sketch out the sections of your website and just do it from a very, very visual point of view of how you want your website to work. So this is the section at the top. This is the hero. This is the services overview. This is the section where I introduced myself. Give yourself something to start with, because if you are staring at a blank page, a blank Google Doc, Word doc, a blank website template, a lot of people start with, it's really overwhelming. I even find it overwhelming as a copywriter. I can't, looking at something completely blank is a lot. So yeah, that would be my biggest tip. Either use a template, use AI as an assistant, or draw yourself out a guideline yourself before you get started.
Okay, well, I will pop a link to those templates as well in the comments, so you'll be able to find them afterwards if anybody is interested. So what's working now for you that others could possibly learn from?
Something that's worked really well in the past few months is getting your money pages, your services pages, your sales pages, get your product pages ranking. Is being very strategic with your headings. And I don't mean that in the traditional way of sticking a keyword in there and hoping for the best. Using something that I call eyebrow copy. Eyebrow copy is, you've got your main heading that might say, for example, if it's a product, your main heading might say the details, semicolon. But just above there, you'll have something called eyebrow copy, which I absolutely adore, because you can tag that up as a heading too. And then you can put in a little keyword in there, and it's small. It doesn't take away from the user experience, because essentially what they want to see is the details of the product, but it still tells Google very specifically what you're about to launch into, and therefore gives the keyword. And I find when I optimize service pages, product pages, money pages in this way, they perform very well. So that is the thing that's working very well at the moment.
Actually, that's probably different to how people see it. So if they use a tool like Yoast, for example, it'll tell you to put heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and you'll think your heading 1, your big text, needs to put the major keywords in, but what you're actually saying is it can be above that. Okay.
It can be above it as long as it's tagged up correctly and that you're still keeping it in order, so that your H1's still at the top of the page.
Yes.
But then you can have your hook or your tagline, or depending what it is underneath. Google still reads your H1 first, and then the same with your H2. And yeah, you're right. Yoast will tell you to put it in your big headings. In fact, I've just written some content around this myself, saying about what I used to do. So I used to always put keywords in headings. I don't really put keywords in headings. I put them in the eyebrow copy, because it just, at the moment, keep tracking it, keep watching it. Who knows? At the moment, it's working very well. So if it's working well, that's what we do.
Okay. And I'm asking all my guests this. What's the moment that's made me think, am I the only one that thinks this, or am I the only one that's done this?
Yeah. This is quite easy, actually. Am I the only one who can't write copy for my own business? Am I the only one who finds it impossible? And that is me, professional copywriter. I have that thought. I find it incredibly hard to write copy for my own website, for my own business. I honestly get myself in knots. I change things. I move stuff around. And then when I work with a client, I'm like, well, obviously that should go there, and this should go there. And I'm confident this is really clear, and this page is going to be really on point in nurturing the client journey, blah, 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 blah. Do my own. I honestly want to put my website in the bin every single week. So if you are a business owner and you are finding it impossible or near impossible to get the words that you actually feel happy with, you are so not alone. Is what I would say, coming from a copywriter.
And I think it's the same for everything. So obviously I come to you for writing my copy. But even things like when I do a strategy for a client, like you say, it's obvious that they should be doing this and they should be doing that, and this is who they should be reaching. But when it comes to your own, you're like, oh, I'm not sure I should be putting that message out, and I'm not sure. I think because you want to prove you're good at what you do, there's that much more pressure. But then I do go into I revert into do as I say, not as I do. I don't know who you'll do it.
We put a lot of energy into our clients, and I think it's just
Yeah.
natural to overthink something that you know so well. Like, you know, when you are like I always say this to my clients, you are the expert in your messaging, your clients, what they need to hear, your ideal clients, your avatars, everything. You are the expert, not me. You just tell me what you know, and then I'm the expert at how the words work together on your website. But I think when we're trying to write our own copy, we're trying to apply, you know, everything that we should know about websites, and then everything that we do know, because there's so much knowledge about your own business, and it just goes, oh, and it all comes together, and it feels really overwhelming. Is kind of how I see it in my brain anyway.
Okay, so are or is there any advice or any lessons you'd pass on to someone in the same boat?
I think one of the things that I've personally struggled with over the past year or so is the emergence of, on social media, lots of this, you know, I'm having 50K months, 5K months, 10K months, I'm doing amazing, I'm smashing it, I get these sales goals because I'm doing everything right. And actually, it's really exhausting to consume this social content all the time. I personally have to like really limit myself, because if I read all that content, and I think whether you're new in business or you've been in business for a while, that is the kind of thing that can really take the wind out of your sails, because literally, because you feel like, well, I'm not smashing it like them. And for every single level that you get to, whether you are making £1,000, £5,000, £10,000, £50,000 a month, there'll always be a level above you that makes you feel small. But actually, why should you be measured up to a size? Who's to say what's small? Who's to say what's big? I always remember a friend saying to me when I started out, I said, I made £800 this month and I'm stressed about it. And she said, but you've made £800. How do you make £800? She worked in the police, and she said, I could go out there and make £800. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, linking it back to your website, is the reason I love websites so much is because they are genuinely your space to invest in. If they're away from social media, they're away from the social media noise. So if you can really nurture your website, look after it, invest, whether that's money, whether that's time, whether that's energy, invest in your website, it will treat you well. And it actually can be a really like calming and spacious way to do business, where you're not in this noisy social media world that quite frankly makes you feel a bit rubbish a lot of the time.
It raises anxiety, doesn't it? So many of us do. I remember, like when I had my online shop, I remember there was a company nearby at the time, and I remember saying to my husband, "Oh, they're doing so well, and you know they're everywhere, and look at me, I've not even had a single sale this week." And the following week they shut down.
Yeah. See, this is,
People only show you what they
of
want you
course
to
they
see.
do. Of course they do. And I can even say that from my own experiences, some of the, let's say, the highest sales months, the months that I have taken the most, have actually sometimes been the most stressful months. The months where I've actually had to do a lot more time out of hours, that I've missed a Sunday afternoon with my son. And I think that's a lesson to us all. And I'm not saying it has to be perfect and you can never work a weekend again, because that's sometimes how business is. Yeah, that's why I love websites, because I feel like it takes away from, yes, you need social media, and most of the time you need social media, and social media is a tool, and it's an important tool for many businesses. But personally, feeling that pressure and that comparisonitis and everything on there,
It's horrible, isn't it?
it's horrible. So it's nice to take a step away from it. And ever since I took my own SEO seriously, I have been able to take a bit more of a step away, and that's something really positive.
And I think from my perspective as well, from a strategy point of view, if social media could just disappear overnight. So if
Exactly.
you haven't got a strong website or you haven't got an email marketing list,
Yeah.
for example,
Yeah.
that you can draw on and you can keep in touch with people, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's all your
100%.
social media. So yeah, and like you said at the beginning, it's about how your website fits into all of the marketing that you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, real.
Well, thank you so much.
So, how can people connect with you, find your business,
Yeah.
all of that?
So my website, of course, is zoconnected.com. On social media, on Instagram, I hang out the most, and that is at Zoe_connected. And I am on LinkedIn, Zoe Barnett. I don't use it that much. LinkedIn's a bit of a form for me, but I am on there. So if you do message me or if you're on there and you connect with me, I will connect back. And I'm on Facebook as well.
Brilliant. So I hope you've enjoyed it today. If you want more tips and hints and marketing guidance, then please do join my mailing list. I will put a link below. I'll be doing other podcasts that will cover other issues over the coming months, so do subscribe. And if you know someone that you think might find it helpful, please feel free to share as well. I hope it's helped. I hope you've felt yourself nodding along and understand that everybody's in the same boat and you're not alone. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you very much.